Back to the usual tradition of following the slopey, cramped and narrow way to qualification for major events. This time the road to Morocco 2015 is getting a bit slopey for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Not as scripted by bookmakers, and it's so tight for the Super Eagles now. We need to sit up or we just get out of the race for Morocco 2015. My name is Ufoma Osusu. Welcome to Super Eagles Locker Room Extra. Of course, with me on the program today, a man who have seen it all. Talk about reporting everything in the world of sports, particularly football. Tijani Kayode, you are very much welcome. TJ, we just looking at the performance of the Super Eagles in the last two matches against Congo Brazzaville, a shock defeat back home in Calabar. And we thought it would have been better in Cape Town against the Bafana, but another goalless draw puts the Eagles on a very tight edge on the way to Morocco 2015.
Well, it was better against South Africa because we didn't lose. It could have been worse. You lose two, you are out. Well, this, like you said, puts us on the edge. And we need to really understand the law since first loss, that Congo first home loss in 33 years. Tells you exactly what you need to know. And a lot of people are saying, okay, all the politics distracted and all this. We scored first. We underrated Congo. I mean, we paid for it. We don't seem to realize that our players probably are not good. We don't have the kind of quality players we think we do have. You have to really understand that. For instance, I mean, you just start with the midfield. We are building it around Mikel. It's a huge mistake. Mikel is not the player that you want to build a team around, like Kanu, like Okocha. You understand? I mean, I think she really should have a rethink about Mikel. Apart from that, the defense is absolutely flat. I mean, for whatever reason, even the Congo game, I mean, some of our superstar performers at the back, Babuna, Miru, didn't even know where they were. You can say it affected them all. I don't think so. I mean, they played a bad game. They underrated Congo. You don't do that in international football anymore. It's absurd. And our players don't fight. They don't fight, and for this qualification, it's tricky. It's really tricky. We've said over and over again, when we do have this kind of draw, we struggle. If you put Cote d'Ivoire, Egypt, Cameroon for Nigeria in the qualification group for a Nations Cup or a World Cup, adrenaline will be pumping. Wow, the thinking is everybody's like, wow, we're not going, we won't qualify, but we will qualify. Like going to the last Nations Cup, we were not expected to win it. I mean, we didn't qualify in 2012. Against Cote d'Ivoire, if I ask you now, I don't think you will say you thought you would win against Cote d'Ivoire in 2013. That's the kind of games we win. So that's the problem. Apart from all the problem happening in politics of NFF, apart from all the things happening, Keshi, no contract yet, a lot of uncertainty, we underrated Congo and we suffered for it. Now, 4 games to go. We must, to qualify, win at least 2 away games or 1. I really don't see us doing so. You saw the game against South Africa. So for us to qualify for this Nations Cup in Morocco, we have to really fight. Our players, are they fighters? I do not think so. I'm not saying we are not qualifying. I'm just setting the tone for you to exactly understand what we are talking about. Congo beats you at home. South Africa, we always beat them. They drew. They could have beaten us. Maybe we could have beaten them. Now the signal is out. Even Sudan will fancy their chances against us. And like I told you, the summary, our players don't fight.
Well, the Super Eagles walking through a tight rope between the valley. Will they get the ticket to Morocco 2015? Of course, that is the hope of everyone that follows the Super Eagles.
Vitamilk Energy, loaded with natural multi-grains, nutritiously energizes your body and strengthens your muscles. Vitamilk Energy, for strong muscle and powerful energy.
Fanciful or not, Nigeria boasted the best forward line ever to come out of Africa. Players of the strength of Amokachi and Sunday Olise, the guile of Philidi George, the power of Yakini, the tormenting JJ Okocha, and the elusive Amunika. and also some divine support from above and, as expected, the touchline. It all amounted to a potent cocktail that audaciously turned the opposition on its head, with a display of attacking football that one expected more to come from the ranks of a vintage Brazil with their Jogo Bonito. Where Cameroon had been unpredictable, Nigeria showed scant regard for anyone but themselves, as each player tried to outdo the other. Defensively, they were an equally tight unit, proving they could aggressively deny the world's best, frustrating them time and again, much to the delight of their exuberant fans. Divine guidance was again sought in the battle with Italy in round 2. The lackluster Italians were an early lesson as Nigeria harried their more illustrious opponents. With Dutch coach Clemens Westerhoff cajoling from the sidelines, a Finidi George corner was pounced upon by Amunika, who punished an unusually hesitant Italian defence. A jubilant Nigerian attack celebrated, whilst the traumatized Italians seemed to have no answer to the marauding Africans who attacked in even greater numbers, with torture reveling in the atmosphere.
Our people they talk and say, know how when the nose won't be rich when danger come, you know if you smell them. USC Soccer Lifeline, the Obonga program where you they hear all the etc things them will concern the world of soccer.
You know say I played that ball as score for where? For my mind.
As one guy won't score ball, he no score. Make a come open mouth say, ah man, I for score this ball. Now if let's talk. Say if na me I for score this ball. Now they look me, can you say waiting? Make I say I for score this ball, shut up. I ain't fella continue. What were you saying? USC Soccer Lifeline. My name is Dayo. Make I catch you for TV, nothing mega.
We hope we will not be having something negative as we had the last time when we didn't qualify under Samson Siasia.
Well, I mean, we had it coming. We believe we are Nigeria. Qualification is guaranteed common. I mean, with that kind of group, Congo, South Africa, we always beat. Sudan, we wallop them. The last time Modu was supposed to have taken us to the World Cup, we beat them at home. Basket full of goals. So why should we have any problem? Wrong. International football has changed. Any team can beat any team. So it tells you exactly what you need to know. And I've told people, I said, Keshi really has his own faults too. You understand? Let's be very frank. There's no perfect coach. I mean, Scolari were in Brazil. Scolari losing scandalously at home in the World Cup semi-final means Keshi is not a perfect coach. But I've told people, I said, for my money, Keshi, you don't want to change Keshi, really. You have to, you know, sit down with him. These are things we think your shortcomings are. He has really done an exemplary job. At the end of the day, look, let me do a test for you now. What don't you know in football? Let me test you now. Name me just 3 players. Ufoma, 3. I'm not saying 4, maybe 2, but 3 players, Nigerian players, who play for the top 4 in Germany, Italy, Spain, Holland, the top. Name me. Eyama, Lee. Who again? Who? Mikel? No. Moses? No. Who? Emenike, top player, but which club? So, if Keshi can use these players to win the African Cup of Nations, to get with a lot of people talk about how the team didn't play well. I don't understand. The Iran that you're talking about that I couldn't beat, you know, if it was not Messi. So, it tells you we do not have the kind of quality players we think we do. That's the problem. I mean, Mikel is our biggest player, well, name-wise. He's not playing in Chelsea. He's a beat part player. Moses is just maybe getting into stride. Osa is a lovely player, you know, but you know, he's not playing for the biggest club, so he's one of the best anyway. I'm just telling you, Keshi is tried. You give him time. You want to get a new coach, new challenges, new problems, new everything. So to me, we are really getting it wrong. Why don't you just give him a contract if you want to? If you don't, let him go. Don't forget, we were shouting so much.
But TJ, if you look at talking about players who really play for quality clubs in Europe, so also apply to other African countries. You can count them on the tips of your
Cote
finger.
d'Ivoire, we can start.
Yeah.
About 9 of them play for the top teams in Europe, play regularly, key players. Ghana, key players. I mean, it's just that there's no time. We can start looking at the other quality players.
Well,
you know,
Super Eagles Locker Room Extra will be back, and we'll look at Keshi this time.
have an open communication line. Let's talk. They're all adults. They're all, you must listen to them. You must give them the respect. And football players, they know when genuinely you respect them, genuinely you give them good advice. They know, and they will appreciate that. And that's what I do, you know. And I've never had, it's like when I wanted to bring in Mikel, because I left him out. I said, you know, you have your problem with Nigerians, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't bring him because, you know, he was playing that big guy that. And he called me and said, Coach, I'd like to come back to national. I said, no, you're not coming. I said, you're not coming. And I dropped my phone. And he called back again, Coach, you're going to hear me out. I'd like to come. I said, well, to do what? I'm trying to build a team here. And these kids, they are very respectful. They give their heart out. They want to play for Nigeria. They want to make sure Nigeria is great. You're not going to do that for us. We don't need you. You know. His agent called back and I said, I don't want to talk to you. You're not Mikel. If I want to talk to somebody, it's Mikel. So Mikel called back again. I said, okay, let's talk. What do you want? I want to come back. And at this point, there's almost 80% of Nigerians don't want to see Mikel playing the national team. I said, you know you have big problem with the national team. Nigerians don't want to see you. But I'm going to take this risk upon me to bring you in. But this is what we have to do. If you agree, so be it. So, okay, Coach. And since Mikel has been in the national team with me, he has been a great professional player. Great professional. Great attitude in training. Great, you know, whatever. You know, it's just different, Mikel. And I just said, enjoy your game. Go and have fun. So we have this line that is open for us to talk. There's no superstar in this team. Everybody has to work for one another, and that's it. You see, we do not just pick players to the national team because we want to pick players. We want to make Nigerians happy that we have new players. We must have seen a player severally. We must probably send somebody out again, give us some rapport about the player, and which we've done in the case of these 4 guys. And the time was ready for us to let them come in and exhibit what they can do. And I'm happy with what I saw.
Well, it's still Super Eagles Locker Room Extra, and we are doing an evaluation of the Super Eagles performance so far and how they can get to Morocco 2015. We look at Keshi's team selection this time. We'll bring his selection to the front burner. People have said there seems to be a problem. We should be talking about attacking options. We have players who are there.
Really, I would advise him to. Ike Uche, for instance, quality. We give you, I mean, he had a bad Nations Cup, doesn't matter. You know, biggest players in the world have bad Nations Cups. Well, for whatever difference, Ike Uche, I'm sure, can talk to Keshi and say, hey, I'm ready. I mean, he denies ever telling Keshi that, you know, they have to beg him. You know, I don't think he told Keshi that. Keshi, in turn, the way he's talking, it's about reporting. It's about reporting. I don't think Keshi said, Ike Uche, you know, said he must be begged. You need a player like that. You need an Obuke. You need players who we are sure.
We even have an Anichebe that is just resting somewhere.
Yeah, well,
which I think is even the better option than
is reluctant to play.
Miobi, which
you are right. Yeah. But Anichebe is reluctant. You don't force him.
But have you invited him and he said no?
Oh, no. Well, they invited him before. He doesn't. If a player wants to play for his country, you will know. Trust me on that. I mean, if a player wants to, his pronunciation, the way he talks about it, it doesn't, I mean, for whatever reason, he believed, and I think rightly so, that at the time in which he came to play for Nigeria, got injured, nobody contacted him. There was a time in England on my program on UK TV, I interviewed Julius Agawa, and Agawa said, listen, I don't want to play for Nigeria again. If he was not that people are calling him, he will never. Those who really has no choice than to listen to. He got injured playing for Nigeria, scoring goals. You remember in 2000 Nations Cup, he was coming cameo role, scoring goals. He got injured playing for Nigeria. His club in Ukraine then, Shakhtar Donetsk, I think. You know, he had an operation in Germany. He did not say Nigeria should bring the money, but no one single call from anybody in the FA. Nigeria, there's no. I keep saying it. Where is insurance policy now? If any player gets injured, you know, for life, play for Nigeria, I don't think there is. So this is it. And Ichebe, you can say is justified because of what has happened. I mean, because if anything happens to a player, you don't call, and you have to call. These are players who are putting their lives on the line. Politicians are collecting. If you're a senator, for instance, you are on 244 million per year. If anything happens to you, you are all right with yourself. One time of that, they get $1 billion. These players are risking everything, and they are doing good PR. I've told people, I say, without these players, you are nothing. Because let's look at it this way. I mean, remember when we won the Olympic Games in Atlanta, Nations Cup, and if the PR value that all these sports brings to us is immense. All the money the politicians are spending to, you know, look at Nigeria's image abroad, you know, you don't need, you know, even 10% of it to do what you're supposed to do. So it's about the players. For me, yeah, talking about Keshi now, he has to look at these players who they must perform. Is normal. He has to really start looking at some of them, because most of the players, unfortunately for him, that he relies on are not performing. Mikel is not performing. I'm using Mikel. Love Mikel. He's a lovely player, but really that role, no, he can't. I mean, because you need players who bring in players who will challenge them. Really, it's very simple. No choice about that. Keshi too knows it. If he uses his players and they disappoint him, because I'm not saying he shouldn't use, he's a coach. It's he who knows the players he wants to use. But if at the end of the day they failed him, those players failed Siasia. He was the one side. They were called back.
As the saying goes, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Before the international friendly against Mexico in Atlanta, the Super Eagles took time out to visit some shopping malls in the city and pick up some choicey items. The Super Eagles players also caught the attention of fans on the streets of Atlanta, who were delighted to get their autographs and a few photo snapshots.
We'll just do a little flashback on the two qualifying matches we have played. It was played at a time when there was crisis in the house of football. Did this have any negative impact on the team?
Well, maybe it can. It's a psychological thing. Like the players, for instance, lost the first game. You are going to South Africa on a Monday. If Chris Giwa goes there, fever bans us, blah, blah, blah. You are flying to South Africa 6 hours. You are not sure whether by the time you are landing in South Africa, they are saying fever has banned Nigeria, you are coming back. Yes. But, Ufoma, let me tell you this now. What are you? A journalist, a broadcaster, quality one. If anything happens you see, you adjust because you have to deliver first. They are professional in all areas of life. They adjust to the dilemma they find themselves. So I don't see that as an excuse. If they had won, we would not be talking this way. They scored first means, so if they had gone on, not to underrate Congo, you know, we wouldn't be talking about distractions. So for me, the election, leave the politics for the politicians. Do your job. Once you see, it's like a boxer going into war. No matter what is in your mind, I know of boxers who just got divorced 2-3 days before their fights. They go in there and still deliver, because once you enter in there, the result is what matters. Every other thing is an excuse, really.
Now we should be asking for the way forward. What is the way forward for Nigerian football administratively?
Well, I mean, it's sad, unfortunate. I'm looking at other negative words too. I've seen that. This is about my 27th year in journalism. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, we thought the Galadima own was wow, how can this happen to us? After that, they didn't lose. But even thinking back then and looking at it now, what? But listening, we shouldn't be surprised. It is about greed. Greed. Because you see, I've told people, I said, the only solution is simple. It's not about the election alone, whatever. If this happens in about another 4 years, to get worse. If we don't do two things, and the two things to me is this: pass the bill at the National Assembly, let the Nigerian Football Association be on its own to raise money on its own. If the government wants to give money, give it. That's your own problem. The Nigerian National Sports Commission cannot interfere, because I remember Nigeria's first ban, first FIFA suspension was in 1971. It was a fight between the National Sports Commission and the Nigerian Football Association. So it's been happening since then till now, uncountable times. Let the government gradually remove itself from funding sports, like the normal countries, countries do. Countries, you look at England, Germany, Spain, Holland, even South Africa. These countries are their football. The money, 90% of the money comes from the private sector, because they trust. Good example, the League Management Committee run by Undu Karabo, the likes of Shehu Diko. What I mean, we talk with the league club owners are saying no, they want to be on the board. The league club owners, what? They are employees. They are just mere employees of the state governments. They were there for years, ruining everything, not paying salaries. You understand? No club, nothing. Everything that is supposed to be a league does not exist now. The league
and sharing heavy money from television rights.
It's every money.
Sweeping on that.
Blackmailing the kind of super sports that is putting more, blackmailing them, not even letting them record sometimes because they want to fix matches. I'm sorry, this is the facts. Now the League Management Committee comes in. Don't forget, people are getting it wrong. League Management Committee illegal. No, look at the FIFA status. The FIFA status says anything that has to do with the league in any country is given, all the rights given to a member FA, which is Nigeria Football Federation now, and they ceded it to the League Management Committee. So they are legal and they are doing everything right. Don't forget, Chris Giwa and what's his name? The man who went to court. The man who's
Barry Bote.
Barry Bote. These two, when the League Management Committee used the FIFA status thing to say, listen, for you to run a club, these are the criteria. If you don't meet it, we won't admit you. These are the two who failed. They are the same ones now you want to run the thing. So it doesn't make sense. League Management Committee, the example I'm giving you, are able to get real money from sponsors, especially Globalcom. There are times in which the Nigerian Football Association needed money. I was in Abuja, they brought a check and gave it to them. Which means if you have people like that, more of them, if the government is not putting billions into this and attracting those who really are there only for the money, you will get quality people like that who will run in, who the sponsor, it might take some years, who the sponsors trust. Then you won't find all this fight, because only quality people will come in. Quality people who know about marketing, like your guy Tayege, for instance, he is a marketing person when it comes to sports. The marketers know him. Undu Kairabo, Shehu, all these people, they are there. Bichelo, be lots of them. These are the people. Look at the man, the marketing man who explains, Dr. Ken Oyali, for instance. Imagine giving the marketing of the Nigerian Football Federation to that man. The sponsors trust him. He knows what he's doing. He knows about branding. So these are the people who will be interested if government say, you know what, we are not sponsoring sports football anymore. But they won't, because so many people are, really all the money, the billions goes into their pocket from the top, if you want the truth.
Unfortunately, the picture of football administration in Nigeria. Well, finally, TJ, will the Super Eagles get to Morocco 2015? It's very tight. If they don't get in there through the first two qualifiers, I think we should be praying for a second batch.
Well, there's nothing like second batch. It's a gamble. So the ones we are really sure about is are they going to be first or second? First, I don't think so, because like I told you, they have to win away games. I can't remember this team really. So
we are going to go on our knees praying again to get to Morocco.
Permutation is called calculation. I failed master school F9.
But the Eagles will get there.
Well, I hope so for our business. But I'm not setting my size too high. I'm going to keep it low. I'm praying. We prayed so much and do a lot of calculations. Maybe a lot of times we've qualified on the last day. I hope so.
Well, TJ, I must thank you so much, very much, for being part of Super Eagles Locker Room Extra for this week.
Well, if you call, I have no choice. I don't have another job.
Well, that has been Super Eagles Locker Room Extra for this week. We'll be back again next weekend.